For the record, I was not pooping. Things I say I'm going to do and things that I'm going to do, am I right? I don't think I'm hysterical, but I do amuse myself often. Now, I am completely starving. I hope you're all starving now, too, and I ruined that for everybody. We do not have a big elephant contingent in the Revel 9 fan base. Our fan base tends to be more along the lines of mentally unstable stoners and alcoholics. I love each and every one of them. So here's the point that I really want you to listen to. When I'm saying you, I'm talking to you absolute f***hards on TikTok that can't understand a fact if it f***s you in the ass. Your facts are fiction, my facts are facts. So apparently I was wrong about who was president in August of 2024. I'm not. 2 times X equals 2X, which makes you twice as stupid as you were before.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Oh my God, humblest of apologies, ladies and gentlemen of the Hard Rock Lunchbox. Of course, if you're watching this on Strangerhood TV on YouTube, my apologies to all of you. My apologies to all of you on the top 20. I am super late today. I would say I have no excuse, but honestly, I've got several excuses, but I'm just not going to bore you with any of them. It has just been one hell of a morning from start to finish. Man, I don't even know where to start, but I guess we could start like we do every week. It is very late, 12:07. It is April 3rd, 2025. I haven't seen outside recently, but it was raining earlier, so it's probably still raining now. I seem to remember that it was going to be a lot warmer today than it was yesterday, and yet I'm in another thermal shirt, so just one more lie. Just one more lie, trying to keep my existence where it belongs, in the gutter and the sewer and all that other good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, how is everybody on that positive, upbeat message? I want to thank the chat for being patient. For the record, I was not pooping. Let me just dispel that rumor right now. It's nice that Andy would get a pass, because, you know, I don't know why, actually. I don't know why I said that, but... Oh, by the way, I just found this guitar pick that I was looking for yesterday. That doesn't matter to you, or me, actually, because I have several more over here. I know I've said over the years that actually my desk here is a Soundcraft full 24-channel board, which I just love because I really should put a piece of plexiglass over it because the picks do get in there, but things I say I'm going to do and things that I'm going to do, am I right? It's like usually things I say I'm going to do all the way over here, and then things that I actually do are going to be like way over there. But let's check in with the light stick. How's it going? All right, good. Light stick is light sticking. I am so tired. I am so tired that I feel like I'm only been here a couple minutes and was late to get here, and I already feel like I'm babbling. So I'm going to just try and stick to whatever script it is that I have. I'm just checking. Hopefully I'm transmitting. Yes, I am transmitting. That is good. I got this. I did homework, barely. Also got a new song if you're interested. That'll be cool. Yeah, so let's start like we do often after the date and just handle a little light housekeeping. It is the 3rd of April, as I said, so it's a Thursday, so of course there's the brand new Top 20 out on Strangerhood TV. This one is called Ignoring the Obvious, which, I don't know, I feel like I do that all the time, right? Like, it seemed like a good title to me. This week DJ focuses what he can focus on, and that is true of most weeks. It is hella true this week. Also today's show, Believing in Teams, Signal Gate, International Bribes, and more. I recommend it. I like the bumpers on it, or the intro part of it. It's always my favorite part of the show. Sometimes I just watch those bumpers over and over again. It doesn't feel like conceit or arrogance. It just makes me laugh. And that, you know, that makes sense. Like, I don't think I'm hysterical, but I do amuse myself often. I think it was years ago, right? Like we used to I just would say like just about this show, just like cracking myself up from noon to 2. And that was definitely when I was in a much better space. Now I'm just at best cracking myself up from like 12:07 to about 2:03. But hey. Evolve or die, people. Evolve or die. I think, isn't that a Star Trek thing? Maybe the Borg? I don't really know. Also, in other news, Bacon is my podcast still. Baconing and podcasting. They talk about deli burgers, a hidden gem you need to try. Now, that is something I can actually speak to. Sometimes the deli burgers really are very good, but it really sort of depends on their source of meat. A lot of delis just have frozen meat. And frozen burgers or pre-prep burgers. I am not a huge fan of frozen beef. It does something to the actual cells of the proteins themselves if they're not frozen properly, and delis are not usually equipped to do that. But if you do have a deli that actually can get you fresh ground beef, then those burgers are absolutely stunning. I will tell you, just to add to that a little bit, if you can get a burger from a butcher, like one of my local butchers will actually cook you a burger, it is like, mwah, because they really grind it like right then and there. It is the best. And now I am completely starving. I haven't eaten all day, and that is not unusual. What me being starving is. So yeah, I hope you're all starving now too, and I ruined that for everybody. That would be cool. Show news, obviously, April 26th, it's going to be a Saturday, is going to be at Whiskey Rocks in West Babylon. It'll be our next show of the year. Of course, we're there to support what I like to refer to as the coming out party for Oswald's Revenge. Yep, that's going to be good. I honestly, at this point, cannot remember the rest of the bill, but we've got plenty of time. Actually, no, I guess we don't. I mean, that's in what? So, I'm just going to the calendar here and just... It's over there. You're just going to have to take my word for it. So it's the 3rd, which means tomorrow is the 4th. So Saturday is the 5th. 1, 2, 3. So 3 weeks and change. Yeah, that's plenty of time. Which reminds me, I have got to write a set list for tonight. Not for a rehearsal tonight, not for a show. It is funny. I've been just, so we have like a dry erase board at the studio, and I just like throw up songs that I don't like vomit them. I put up songs, like in Dr. Strangelove, I like to put up the songs that I want to work on at any given time. I mean, sometimes it's just obvious, like when we have a new song we're working on and a new cover, and we have a newish song that we did last time and we're working on that. But I completely just remembered that we have not played Scars in some time, so we should probably work on that tonight. So band, if you're listening, maybe brush up on Scars. That'll be good. But anyway, I've been just putting songs up there, and we're going to do, I think we got a 40-minute set coming up, so usually for us that's about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 40 minutes, it's about 10 to 11 songs. It'll probably be 10 songs. And we're going to decide on what those are. But as I was writing down the songs I wanted to do, I got to 10 really goddamn fast, so there's, I don't know. Like, I'd wanted to throw some older stuff in the mix this time, because that's always fun for me, but I am going to take a look and see what we did at Amityville Music Hall, so we're not exactly duplicating the same set. Even though we play so little these days, it probably wouldn't matter to anybody, because it's been such a long time since anybody's even seen us play, and people have very short memories, unless they have very long memories, but then you're usually an elephant, so we do not have a big elephant contingent in the Revel 9 fan base. Our fan base tends to be more along the lines of mentally unstable stoners and alcoholics, and I love each and every one of them, so I kid except where I'm not. You know who you are. Because you know who you are, you know who I am, and now that we all know each other, we can continue with the rest of the show. I am sorry if I'm way scattered. I just am, so I'm going to try and hone in. I'm going to try and lock in, as my buddy James would say. I got to lock in on everything. I got to look at everything. And I got to see why I just lost. Oh, no, I found it. Woo, success. So I want to start with an actual, not a retraction. What is the word? A correction. Right. I feel it's got a fancier word than a correction. But I do want to do a correction. I really do try and pride myself on facts and accuracy. I am not using this as an excuse, but because with the exception of 1 week, a few weeks ago, I have just been royally underslept by the time we get to the show, so it just gets a little fuzzy in here sometimes. So I definitely do make mistakes, and I really do try my best to point out when I'm making them. So here we go. I'm going to even give it a sound. So here's my correction. It was either last week or a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about how basically everybody on the right was completely like filleting to completion Elon Musk for going to get our astronauts off the International Space Station. And I made the argument that, like, it really is just his job. Like, you know, he's a government contractor, and we hired him to do a job. Like, it's not like he went up there in one of his Cybertrucks and go get them. Like, he didn't do that. So I don't necessarily know why he's a hero. I just thought he was doing his job. So I did say that. But what I misspoke on, I said it was going to cost us billions of dollars to go get him. To go get them. That is not true, and that was not the case. What I was speaking to was the $20 billion in contracts that SpaceX was about to get, or they probably have already gotten by now, for 2025. That was the billions with a B, and I totally apologize if I misled anybody. It was definitely an accident. It's a millions with an M, excuse me, not a B, that it cost the United States government. That's you and me. If you pay taxes. I guess if you don't pay taxes, then you don't really have any skin in the game. So just a select few of us that are paying taxes. It cost us millions of dollars, $100+ million to go do this. And the reason that is to launch just the Falcon 9 rocket all by itself in 2024 was about $69 to $70 million each time. When you start adding people on that, it becomes a much more expensive thing, which makes sense, right? You're not just shipping rocks back and forth to space. So I don't know what the actual reason is. I just know what the breakdown is. So it ends up being like another, I think it said like another $40 million per person or something. But the total bill for Elon Musk's company, the government contractor SpaceX, a private company with government contracts. Let's just be clear about that. According to this, was about $140 million. Now, so I hope that corrects everybody. Let me give you that. What I want to say now, and I'll tell you why I want to say it, is because I want to be very clear about this one part of what I was saying, because I got a tremendous amount of pushback from this. And I understand why I got pushback, because of all the misinformation that's going on. People are just misinformed. See, it's like a direct line. Like, if you start with misinformation, you give people that misinformation, those people will then be misinformed, especially if they aren't intellectually acute enough to, like, do their own research and kind of see what's going on. So here's what I want to say, and I'm going to read this specifically so that everybody understands. Although I do have to find it. So, all right. So they're talking about how the thrusters, the helium leaks from the Starliner did prevent Boeing from bringing the astronauts home, because what happened is Boeing is another private company, right? They make airplanes that just fall out of the sky because somebody didn't do their job in the computer system. And that's a gross exaggeration, but it is still kind of accurate. But anyway, so Boeing makes the Starliner, right? So Jeff Bezos is on the sideline from this because he's making that suborbiter, the blue, I don't know, penis, whatever he calls it. I don't even know. I mean, I would know, but not today. So Boeing makes the Starliner. The Starliner is what brought those two astronauts up to the International Space Station, and the Starliner was going to dock with the space station, and then those astronauts were going to come home. They had helium leaks on the Starliner, and then NASA made the decision to just bring it home empty because it was going to be a risk to human life, and that's something that NASA has to decide. And I feel like they made the right decision. If there's any risks to astronauts that are already literally risking their life, I feel like we should do everything we can to mitigate those risks. It seemed like the right idea. So that was going on last summer, right? So, and I'll just read this as a direct quote. Okay. So although the helium leaks stabilized after arrival, problems with the thrusters convinced NASA to send the Starliner aircraft back to Earth empty. That's when Musk came into the picture, and NASA and SpaceX officials huddled last summer, 2024, because we're not in summer, so it's the last summer. Huddled last summer to determine a plan to return the astronauts. Here's the point that I really want you to listen to. When I'm saying you, I'm talking to you absolute f***tards on TikTok that can't understand a fact if it f***s you in the ass. So here it is. In August 2024, NASA announced that it would be using SpaceX Dragon capsule to bring back the astronauts in February 2025. Okay? February 2025 was the date. This was agreed to in August. Now I'm just going to wait, and I'm going to ask if any of you hard R's out there on TikTok, not the regular listens, just this is for TikTok people. If any of you hard R's out there remember who was president in August of 2024, I'll give you a hint. It rhymes very well with Joe Biden, okay? Not a particular fan of that president. I was a fan of some of his policies. I was not a fan of some of his other ones, but facts are facts, right? Your facts are fiction. My facts are facts. So in August 2024, Joe Biden was president, made an agreement with SpaceX to go get the astronauts in February of 2025. Okay, so that is a fact. That is knowable, all that other good stuff. What also is knowable is that due to technical problems with the launch, they couldn't go get them till March. That happens. I'm not blaming SpaceX for that at all. Again, like I just said about the Starliner or whatever I called it, the Boeing one. If there's at all a risk that we can mitigate, we should absolutely mitigate it. So them holding from February to March, I do not blame them at all. If there was a problem, I think it was the right thing to do. What I'm saying here is to the roughly 1,300 people or comments or whatever it is that I inadvertently and stupidly started to look at over the weekend, is that President Biden was in charge. This was not something that Trump did. It was already done. And Trump went on TV, as did Elon Musk, and say that Trump had made this deal. And that is a lie. It is a knowable, factual lie. So for all of you people that decided to push back on me because you don't like my facts because they don't agree with your worldview, I just want to just be very clear and point out just how goddamn stupid you are to take that position. And I'm sure this will garner me another 1,300 negative comments, but I don't give a shit, and I definitely don't care what you have to say. If you're arguing with me about facts on TikTok like a and a douche, then I don't really care what you have to say. I will offer up one caveat. If you are doing it kind of in an engaging manner and be like, oh, this was this, and you actually say something, that I appreciate. Unfortunately, I cannot troll through TikTok and do this. I did actually go through a couple of comments, and there was one with roughly around 99 comments, and 98 of them were completely slamming me because apparently I was wrong about who was president in August of 2024. I'm not. But they thought I was. And there was one person that was actually like, but actually everything he said about Biden was accurate. And I want to thank you, whoever you are, for doing that, because I realize how much balls it takes to actually step up and say those things and defend these things. You know, like I talk a lot on other social media because it's a more comfortable platform for me. I can't stand these like wannabe keyboard warriors that just are going to offer up their incredibly ill-formed opinion about anything. Because like the fact that people talk to me about news that they got on TikTok, it just makes my heart sad or laugh or whatever. Like I just feel bad for like whatever sort of humanity we have left, that you're actually thinking that there's news on TikTok. Like, let me be quite clear. If TikTok isn't making you laugh, then you're using TikTok wrong. If you want news, there's definitely news out there. And you can get it. But the problem is with this whole Dunning-Kruger effect is like if facts, actual true statements and trueness and truth in the world doesn't agree with your worldview and you decide to double down on your stupidity, well, what is that going to make you? Yeah, 2 times X equals 2X, which makes you twice as stupid as you were before. That's a little math lesson. I'm sure anybody I'm saying this to on TikTok wouldn't understand that, so you're just going to have to take my word for it. So I'm sure I had other stuff to talk about, but I just don't feel like talking about it now because I realize how many edits I'm going to actually have to put into this video just to launch it on YouTube, because I don't need any more strikes against me. The world is lining up lining up perfectly and beautifully to just hand me a new strike every day, so I don't need to go out of my way to get more. But what I am going to go out of my way to do is play some brand new music for you. Now, this band I'm going to play, I've played before on the box. They have a song called Faded. The band is called Hunter Road. We met them when we played up in Westchester, and they give you definitely a Stone Temple Pilots vibe, which for me is awesome. I mean, like, yes, does it date it to like the 90s and stuff like that? Sure, why not? You know, but like, it's still good and it's still music I like, so I really like the band. In fact, one of the covers they had done when we saw them was Wicked Garden, Stone Temple Pilot, and they absolutely nailed it. So I thought that was brilliant. But I heard shades of that in this new one too, and you know, I always have a soft spot for STP. I probably always will. And if that helps me like this band and this song a little more, that's fine. But it's brand new music, and you can decide for yourself. It's Hunter Road. The song's called Midnight Affair, and that's how we're going to start the box.